HOA demanded I demolish my barn. I'm not even a member, and this is private land. The sun beat down on my 5-acre plot, a patch of freedom I'd carved out after years of city life. The barn, old and sagging but sturdy, stood as my sanctuary, a place for tools, dreams, and quiet. Wildflowers, vivid purples and yellows, blanketed the field around it. A gift from nature I hadn't planted but cherished. I'm Jack Ramsey, a man who values his land and his solitude. But that morning, solitude shattered. Karen Whitaker stormed across my field, her floral dress flapping like a warning flag. She was the HOA president from the gated community a mile away, a place I'd never set foot in. I wasn't part of their rules, their manicured lawns, or their petty politics. My land was private, bought with every cent of my savings. Yet here she was, heels sinking into my dirt, waving a clipboard like a weapon. "Jack Ramsey," she barked, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Your barn's an eyesore, and those weeds are a violation. Tear it down or we'll fine you." I leaned on my shovel, squinting at her. "Weeds? Those are wildflowers. And this is my land. You've got no jurisdiction here." Her face reddened, eyes narrowing. "The HOA's aesthetic standards apply to the entire valley. Those flowers attract pests, and that barn lowers property values. We've had complaints." "Complaints from who?" I shot back. "I don't answer to you or your club." She thrust her clipboard forward, a petition with a dozen signatures. "The community demands action. You're ruining our view." I laughed, bitter and low. "Your view? Lady, this is my home. You don't get to dictate what I do here." That's when Old Man Carter shuffled up, his worn boots dragging. He lived on the edge of my property, a quiet neighbor who'd always kept to himself. I figured he'd back me up, once said my barn reminded him of his childhood. But his face was pale, his hands trembling as he clutched another clipboard. "Jack," he muttered, avoiding my eyes. I signed it. The HOA's been hounding me. They said if I didn't, they'd raise my dues. I can't afford that." The betrayal stung worse than Karen's demands. Carter, my only ally, had caved. I felt the ground shift under me, not just dirt but trust. "You sold me out for a few bucks?" I asked, voice low. He looked away, shame carving lines deeper into his face. Karen smirked, sensing victory. "See? Even your neighbors agree. Tear it down or we'll escalate this to court." Court. The word hit like a sledgehammer. I'd poured everything into this NAMI savings, my sweat, my hope for a life free of people like her. The barn wasn't just wood and nails. It was my defiance against a world that tried to control everything. And those wildflowers? They were proof beauty didn't need permission. I stepped closer, shovel still in hand. "You want a fight? You'll get one. But not in court. Right here." Karen's eyes widened, but she didn't back down. "Don't threaten me, Ramsey. You're alone in this." Was I? The wildflowers swayed in the breeze, silent witnesses to a war I didn't start. Days turned into weeks. Karen's HOA sent letters, then a lawyer. I ignored them, fortifying my barn with new beams, planting more flowers out of spite. The community whispered, some called me a hero, others a stubborn fool. Carter stopped coming by, his guilt a wall between us. Then came the twist I never saw coming. One evening, a teenage girl knocked on my door. Lily, Carter's granddaughter, barely 16, with fire in her eyes. "I heard what's happening," she said. "Grandpa's wrong. The HOA's bullying him, too. I want to help." She showed me photos she'd taken Karen's own backyard, filled with the same weeds she'd condemned. Hypocrisy plain as day. Lily had been sneaking around, gathering evidence, even rallying kids from the HOA community to spread the word. "They're scared of her," she said. "But they're sick of her rules." Together, we fought back. Lily posted the photos online, sparking outrage. The HOA's petition crumbled as residents turned on Karen, embarrassed by her double standards. I thought we'd won. But Karen was relentless. One night, under cover of darkness, she hired a crew to bulldoze my barn. I woke to the sound of splintering wood, my sanctuary reduced to rubble by dawn. I stood in the wreckage, heart heavy as the broken beams. The wildflowers still bloomed, defiant, but the loss cut deep. Lily found me there, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought we could stop her." I shook my head. "You tried. That's more than most." Karen faced no real consequences. Money and connections shielded her. My land was still mine, but the barn was gone. I rebuilt not with wood, but with resolve. I planted more flowers, let them spread wild and free. They'd outlast her, I told myself. The fight exposed more than Karen's hypocrisy. It revealed how fear and greed could twist even good people like Carter. It showed how one girl's courage could spark hope, even if it didn't change the outcome. I lost my barn, but I gained something fiercer, a reason to keep fighting. What would you do when someone demands you destroy what you love? Share your thoughts on justice, community, or standing your ground.